So for this video, I'm going to be covering the E61 5 Series Panoramic Sunroof Sport Wagon Touring Estate, depending on what country you are from. First up is the actual switch. According to the owner's manual, there's actually 6 positions. The first one being tilt, which you depress it upward. It mentions there being a detent. I don't actually personally feel the detent. There isn't much travel with the tilt, so I wouldn't be surprised if in fact that's not the case. Forward, there is definitely a forward, and then there's a detent to go further, and then rearward, and then rearward you go past the detent. So let's try each of those out. The first thing we're going to try is the tilt mode. You depress the sunroof switch up, supposedly past the detent, although I don't feel a detent, and both panes of glass will tilt, and the sunshade mechanism, at least the rear panel, will go rearward, and there'll be a vent exposed. So I'll go ahead and press that. Yep, both glasses are tilted. You have a grid that's open, and you're in tilt mode. If you depress it forward, both panes of glass close, and the sunroof shade closes back up. For number 2, we will depress the switch rearward. As soon as you release it, the sunroof shade stops. If you depress it past the detent and the release, it will go all the way back. The rear panel drops into the headliner, and then the front sunshade panel goes over the rear panel. Similarly to close, you hold it down, it will close. Once you release, it will stop. You pull all the way past the detent, and it fully closes the sunshade. If you do a double tap past the detent within a couple seconds, it will open both at the same time. So do 1, 2, both the sunshade and the glass panels retract. Now this will go to what's known as the comfort position. That front piece of glass is partially retracted. Supposedly this is minimal cabin noise. If you don't mind more cabin noise, you can depress it rearward again past the detent, and it will fully retract the front panel of glass. So it's completely underneath the rear panel. And this gives you the largest possible opening. Now to close, you can press the switch forward. As soon as you release it, it stops. Again, you can do a single tap, a double tap, and I would expect this will close both of them. There, I did a double tap, both are closing. Those are the different modes for the panoramic sunroof. Some maintenance is definitely required. It's pretty well known that the rear sunroof drains will clog. First, BMW released some plastic grids, or I guess filters that you can install in the rear portion of the panoramic sunroof. Unfortunately, you have to remove the entire cassette in order to install them. I've never seen them in life. I've only seen actual pictures, or seen pictures in the ISTA service literature. They then released instructions on how to inspect for clogged drains. If you did have clogged drains, it recommended to remove the D-pillars, cut the sunroof drain hose, and then use some Bowden cable, potentially sourced from a bike shop, to run up the drain tube into the sunroof cassette, and then down the drain tube out the exit, I guess you'd call it duck bills. Later instructions suggested removing those duck bills at the end of the drain tubes, although it did caution you that you will have gurgling noises potentially. So they do serve a purpose, as long as you keep them clean, or as long as you don't drive around, I don't know, in the fall or with a lot of pollen or seeds in the air, then you're probably, I suspect, okay. It takes quite a bit of time to build up. Now, if you park underneath a tree with the sunroof open, then you're probably asking for trouble. I did rebuild this cassette using 4 different kits from BMW. Dropped the headliner in the process. Those kits, I believe, are interchangeable also with the E53 X5, and they might also be compatible with the E83 X3. There's a lot of parts commonality between those 2 other models, which means hopefully they'll keep on producing parts. One thing to note, if you do have problems, the owner's manual does talk about dropping this piece of trim right here, and you can use the crank that comes with the emergency kit to manually open and close the glass panels. Going by memory, if you disconnect the electrical harness that goes to that motor, there's less resistance. It makes it easier to crank them open and closed. There is an identical motor way in the back, that hump that's in the headliner. That motor runs both sunroof panels and the screen, windscreen that tilts up. So for some reason you want to manually close those, you could technically find the proper or make the proper located hole in the headliner to run the crank up into to manually close those sunshades. I will include a picture in this video so you can see when I did that. Although I already knew I was going to recover the headliner, so I wasn't too concerned about the hole that's in that piece, or in that hump back there. Lastly, I want to go over the wind deflector. It actually has 3 different positions. There's the down position, the intermediate position, and the extended position. When you first open that front pane of glass, the default is the down position. As you can see, it's slightly raised, spring loaded. Now right now the engine is off, but when you start the vehicle, that MSD module gets the ground speed, and the rear motor underneath the headliner powers it up to the intermediate position. Once you get up to a certain speed, I never measured it, that rear motor will raise it to the extended position. However, once you get up to 84 miles an hour, it'll run it back down. I'm assuming it's for noise issues or maybe just durability issues. I will throw a picture up there from the service training literature at the very end. Thanks.